The Evercade console is a couple of years old now, and it features not just retro games from the 80s and the 90s, but it also has new retro-styled indie games that are getting full physical releases onto cartridges. Alien Cat 2 is one of 14 games making up the first Indie Heroes Collection cartridge to hit the Evercade, and it was clearly a success as the second collection is due to be released at the end of this year. The cartridge has a nice mixture of different games, from platformers to RPGs to puzzle games like Alien Cat 2. In this game, you're a cat who has crash landed their spaceship on an unusual planet and has to work through levels to pick up the pieces of your broken ship, slowly rebuilding it stage by stage so that you can fly off and get back on course. The opening levels are simple enough, as they basically walk you through the elements of the gameplay and how to complete a stage. You pick up all the little collectibles, they're things like screws or bolts for the spaceship, and then once you've got them all, you can make your way back to the exit that pops up. Once you've reached the exit, you get to see Alien Cat fix another piece of their ship, and by the end, you'll have the whole thing rebuilt. As you go through the stages, they slowly start to introduce more gameplay elements. Landmines, spikes, they're the kind of thing that's going to become Alien Cat's enemy, and there'll often be an alluring red button that you can press that'll make the spikes drop back down and keep them out of your way. The big gameplay twist in Alien Cat comes when a second cat is introduced to the levels. Alien Cat gets a clone, and if you move left, it moves left too. You move up, it moves up with you. So if either one of you moves into a landmine or a spike or an enemy, then you're both out of the game and you've got to restart the level. This is where things really start to pick up and get interesting, and soon enough you can have levels with 3 cats who have to control. By the end you'll be controlling 4 cats at one time, while moving enemies get introduced into the mix. There's an awful lot going on by the end, but the game builds to it very well, and at no point do you feel overwhelmed or like the game has suddenly thrown you into the deep end. Interestingly, there's no one right path or single route to completing a stage. There's no timer for you to fight against, and you also have unlimited lives, so this is a bit more of a chilled out experience, and you can take your time trying to solve the levels in your own way. So what's the key to victory when you've got all these felines to navigate around a really cluttered map? The trick is to use the walls. If multiple cats are moving left but a wall is in the way for any of them, they'll essentially stick to that wall. The cat not next to the wall will continue on their path until they reach a wall of their own. You have to use this to your advantage, plotting out routes that can either help you hit the buttons to turn off obstacles or to get the collectibles. It doesn't take too long to get used to the system in play, and to be honest, half the time that you do slip up and end up exploding a poor cat, it tends to be pretty funny anyway. Once you've mastered 2 cats, the game ups the ante, and it just keeps making things more complicated as you go along. All of the levels themselves are actually visible at any one time, so you can always stop and take your time to visualise what your next moves are going to be. The final point on the gameplay itself is that once you have all the pieces that you need and the portal to leave a level appears, don't rush things. You've got to get each cat out of that level, whether there's 1 of them left or 4 of them left. The landmines and the enemies, they'll still be around, so you have to navigate your way out carefully and get the cats out one by one. It can be a bit frustrating to pull off the level only to then blow yourself up just trying to get out of it, but when I say that, it's more of a why did I just do that kind of frustration that you direct at yourself rather than anything unfair that the game is doing. The graphic style is simple but easy on the eyes, everything has a fairly cute look to it. The levels change colours as you go through them, and that helps keep things fresh visually. The music in the game is pretty good, however it is limited. There's 3 different tunes that play across the levels, and I'd say the first levels have the catchiest tune that plays. Sadly, they do start to get repetitive after a bit, so some more tracks would have helped. In total, there's 30 levels to sink your teeth into here, and like some of the other indie puzzlers I played on the Evercade, I did find myself longing for more to play by the end. The game won't take you hours to get through by any means. Other than rebuilding your spaceship, there's no real story in play here, but as I've said in past videos, I'll not be deducting from the score as I don't expect a puzzle game to really come with a story generally. Any narrative you do get to explain why you're puzzling, I just consider a bit of a bonus. One extra criticism to throw out there though is that one level is missing a bomb icon, so it just appears as a blank space, but you will die when you walk into it. It's quite annoying to run into, and you have to make a mental note of where that bomb should be when you re-attempt the level. It's not something that should have slipped into the finished version of the game, however. Overall thoughts on Alien Cat 2 then, and for me it's getting a 7 out of 10 score. The game's really fun to play through, it gets you thinking, and even when you mess up it can be quite humorous. The graphic style isn't anything groundbreaking, but it's nice and easy on the eyes, and the difficulty curve works well, as more elements are slowly but surely introduced into the mix. The soundtrack could do with some more variation to avoid getting a bit grating, and again I just wish there was more levels to this. I'd have loved 60 or 90 levels to really flesh out the game as opposed to the 30 that we get. Like Gluff from the Megacat Studio 2 collection that I've reviewed recently, it is likely to be a game that I revisit at some point though, so there is some future replay value in there. So thank you for joining me for this review of Alien Cat 2. Let me know in the comments if you played this one, and if so, how you found it. If you enjoyed this review, it'd be great if you could leave me a little thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're looking to see some more Evercade game reviews, as there's always going to be more in the pipeline on the channel. And until next time, thanks for watching, and take it easy.